Welcome to Algebra, Solving Multi-Step Equations. In this first lesson of Unit 2, we continue learning to solve more and more complex equations using the techniques reviewed in Unit 1, such as isolating the variable using inverse operations, combining like terms, applying the distributive property, solving with variable terms on both sides, and solving inequalities. The distributive property is used when a particular pattern in an expression is showing, with a single term immediately followed by two or more terms inside parentheses. The single term is distributed or multiplied to each of the inside terms, helping to simplify the expression. Combining like terms is about identifying terms with common variables and adding or subtracting the coefficients into single variable terms. Using inverse operations to undo the math in equations helps to work through the process of isolating the variable and finding the eventual solution to the equation. In this lesson, we will work through the process of solving several multi-step equations and then checking the solution for each one to prove correctness. Let's get started. In solving this equation, you will use one or more of these techniques. Let's see how it works. We start with the equation 3x plus 4 minus 5x plus 6 equals 16. And we have three techniques over on the right: the distributive property, combining like terms, and using inverse operations. In this situation, there is no pattern for the distributive property, so we won't need to use that one. We do need to combine like terms because 3x and 5x are like, and then 4 and 6 are both constants. So we combine those terms and we get negative 2x plus 10 equals 16 as the result. Now we begin using inverse operations, or the undoing process, by subtracting 10 from both sides, resulting in negative 2x equals 6. Then divide both sides by negative 2, and our result is x equals negative 3. To check the solution, we replace each instance of the x variable with negative 3. So now we have 3 times negative 3 plus 4 minus 5 times negative 3 plus 6 equals 16. Simplifying that, 3 times negative 3 makes negative 9. 5 times negative 3 makes negative 15. The minus negative in the expression becomes plus. So now our new equation is negative 9 plus 4 plus 15 plus 6 equals 16. We start adding the values. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus 15 is positive 10, and then 10 plus 6 is 16, and the equation checks out. In this equation, 3x minus 7 plus 9 minus 8x equals negative 13. Again, there is no distributive property. We start by combining like terms. 3x and minus 8x make negative 5x. Negative 7 plus 9 makes 2. So our new equation is negative 5x plus 2 equals negative 13. We now do inverse operations to begin isolating the variable. Subtract 2 from both sides. We get negative 5x equals negative 15. Divide both sides by negative 5, and the answer is x equals 3. We substitute 3 in place of x in two places, and we end up with the equation 3 times 3 minus 7 plus 9 minus 8 times 3 equals negative 13. We begin simplifying, and we get 3 times 3 is 9, 8 times 3 is 24, and now 9 minus 7 is 2, 2 plus 9 is 11, 11 minus 24 is negative 13, and that checks out. In this equation, negative 6m plus 12 minus 2m minus 6 equals 30. Again, there is no distributive property. We go straight to combining like terms. Negative 6m and minus 2m combine to be negative 8m. 12 and minus 6 combine to be 6. Our new equation is negative 8m plus 6 equals 30. We undo by subtracting 6 from both sides. We get negative 8m equals 24. Divide both sides by negative 8, and m is equal to negative 3. We check the solution by replacing negative 3 for two instances of m, resulting in the equation negative 6 times negative 3 plus 12 minus 2 times negative 3 minus 6 equals 30. Negative 6 times negative 3 results in 18. The double negative after the 12 becomes plus. 18 plus 12 is 30. 30 plus 6 is 36. 36 minus 6 is 30, which checks out. In this equation, we finally have a distributive property to do because we see the pattern, 3 parentheses y plus 4 in the equation. So we distribute and we get 3y plus 12 plus 2y equals 32 for the new equation. Now we combine 3y and 2y to become 5y. We undo the 12 by subtracting it from both sides. We divide both sides by 5, and our final answer is y equals 4. In checking this equation, 4 replaces y in 2 places, and we end up with 3 times 4 plus 4 plus 2 times 4 equals 32. 4 plus 4 becomes 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 plus 8 is 32, and it checks out. In this equation, 49 equals 5 minus 2 times parentheses x minus 4 plus 6x. We apply the distributive property, and we get 49 equals 5 minus 2x minus negative 8 plus 6x. The minus negative becomes plus, and now we combine like terms, and we result in 49 is equal to 13 plus 4x. We subtract 13 from both sides, resulting in 36 equals 4x. We divide both sides by 4, and we get x equals 9. We check our solution by substituting 9 in place of x in 2 places, resulting in 49 equals 5 minus 2 times 9 minus 4 plus 6 times 9. 9 minus 4 becomes 5. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. 6 times 9 is 54. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. And then finally, negative 5 plus 54 is 49, which matches the other side, and the solution checks out. In this equation, we distribute the 4 first of all, and we get 6x minus 4x minus negative 12 plus 2x equals 12. The minus negative becomes plus. So now we have 6x minus 4x plus 12 plus 2x equals 12. Combining like terms results in all 3 x terms becoming 4x. Then we have plus 12 equals 12. We subtract 12 from both sides, and we get 4x equals 0. We divide both sides by 4, and the solution is x equals 0. We substitute 0 in 3 places, resulting in 6 times 0 minus 4 times 0 minus 3 plus 2 times 0 equals 12. 6 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. 2 times 0 is 0. And so now the zeros just drop out. Negative 4 times negative 3 becomes 12, which checks out. In this equation, the distributive property pattern shows up twice. So we do that. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 4 is 12. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. We start combining like terms. The x's combine to be 4x. The constant values combine to be negative 20. 4x minus 20 equals 12 is the new equation. We add 20 to both sides. We get 4x equals 32. Divide both sides by 4. The answer is 8. We substitute 8 for x in 2 places and begin working through it. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 plus 4 is 12. 16 minus 4 is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 12 is 36. 36 minus 24 is 12, which checks out. Here we see the distributive property happen, so 6 times 2q becomes 12q. 6 times 20.5 is 123. We continue by combining negative 23 minus 100, which is minus 223. We add 223 to both sides, and we get 12q equals 258. We divide both sides by 12, and we get 21.5 as our answer. In checking that value, we replace q with 21.5, and now we start working through it. 2 times 21.5 is 43. 43 minus 20.5 is 22.5. 6 times 22.5 is 135. 135 minus 100 is 35, which checks out with the value on the other side. Here we distribute the 2 to both x and 9, resulting in 2x plus 18. Then we combine like terms on the right side. 9x and 3x make 12x. And now we have to collect the x's on one side or the other. And this is a form of combining like terms. Subtract 2x from both sides, and we get 18 equals 10x minus 2. We add 2 to both sides, and we get 20 equals 10x. Divide both sides by 10, and we get x equals 2 as our answer. We replace x in 3 places with the value 2, resulting in 2 times 2 plus 9 equals 9 times 2 minus 2 plus 3 times 2. 2 plus 9 reduces to 11. 9 times 2 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 11 is 22. 18 minus 2 is 16. And then finally 16 plus 6 is 22, which matches the other side, and the solution checks out. Here we distribute the negative 6 to become negative 24x and negative 18. We collect the terms on one side by adding 2x to both sides, and we get negative 22x plus negative 18 equals negative 18. We add 18 to both sides, and we get negative 22x equals 0. 0 divided by negative 22 is simply 0. We substitute x with 0 in 2 places. 4 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. The zeros just drop out. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18, which matches the other side. The solution checks out. Here we have the distributive property on both sides of the equation. 7 times 3b is 21b. 7 times 8 is 56. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 2 times b is 2b. We combine negative 4b and negative 2b to be negative 6b. We collect the terms on one side by adding 6b to both sides, resulting in 27b minus 56 equals negative 2. We add 56 to both sides. We get 27b equals 54. Divide both sides by 27. b is equal to 2. The value 2 replaces b in 3 places. 7 times 3 times 2 minus 8 is equal to negative 4 times 2 plus 2 times negative 1 minus 2. The 3 times 2 simplifies to be 6. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Negative 8 plus negative 6 is negative 14. Both sides are equal. The solution checks out.